Hello everyone. Hi. So, welcome back to ISKA Presents daily 5-day live session on understanding the different needs of children and addressing what are the issues which children have. So, today basically I will focus on behavioral issues which children have, and these are the common issues which is very much evident in most of the children nowadays in their lives. Well, to start with, what is a behavioral issue? So it is, if I have to say, that we all know what a behavior is, right? It is the way we act in a particular situation. It is the way how we respond to a particular statement, our reaction to particular to some situation, to someone who is saying something. So basically it follows a pattern. And when we talk about following a pattern, we also have to keep in mind that it is a behavioral issue. Therefore, the patterns are quite disruptive. Okay, so well, when it comes to understanding behavioral issues in children, it can be quite complicated at times, because there are so many behaviors which needs to be addressed, and children, they almost, for each and every issue, for there are different behavioral issues, and mostly the symptoms are almost the same. So at times it becomes really very difficult to understand them, but it is not something which cannot be done. All right, we all know that young kids are very naughty, they are very cheerful, and they loves to just have fun. Sometimes they are defiant, sometimes they are very impulsive, and sometimes their temperament, it keeps on changing from time to time. And therefore, what happens is that these are the things from which we can understand that something might not be correct with the behavior that they are showing. All right, so there are different behavioral issues or problems or disorders which children have. So mostly we all know about ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Then we have oppositional defiance disorder. Then there is conduct disorder. So basically all these disorders are very much evident in childhood, especially nowadays. So again, why it is so, why it is nowadays? Here are few factors which we have to keep in mind. Of course we will go to that, but before we go to that point, we have to understand that what are the signs of behavioral problem. I mean, most of the parents, most of the clients, most of the parents which comes to us in our center, they are unable to identify the different kinds of behavior, and sometimes they says, madam, ye theek ho jayega na? Will this be permanent? Will it just last for a very long time? So they are also in a state of not being able to understand properly why certain kind of behaviors are being displayed. Well, signs of behavioral problems are like they get easily annoyed, they get easily distracted, they have issues in focusing one thing at one particular time. There is inattention, or there might be very overexcitedness. Okay, and there are sometimes there is also, not sometimes, mostly there is a refuse. Children, they refuse to follow instructions, they refuse to follow orders. So therefore these are certain kind of signs which if you see in a child, and if it lasts for more than 6 months on a regular basis, then probably it can be diagnosed with a particular type of disorder. And for diagnosis, we have a different set of people. There are clinicians, of course, who diagnose it. But yes, it does not end there. It needs in-depth intervention as well. Now when we talk about ODD, oppositional defiance disorder, so it is one kind of a disorder where the child is mostly opposing each and everything, it is related to an authoritative figure. So the child feels the constant need to be very rebellious, very aggressive. The child probably can shout, scream, and whenever certain things are not according to the child, whenever there is obstruction in their goal. So basically, when there is an obstruction in goal, and they would show certain kind of behavior which is not good, which is not acceptable socially. And again, if you look behind that, there are certain emotions which leads to this obstruction of behavior and behaving in a very peculiar way or very socially unacceptable way. So the emotion basically which we can see in all these childhood related disorders is anger. So like we all know, anger is a very strong and powerful emotion, but of course it is not a bad emotion. Definitely. Hi. So definitely we also have to understand that anger is one issue which is very common in all these childhood disorders. So behind anger there is a theme, and anger, wherever there is anger, there will be goal obstruction, there will be frustration. So basically the theme of anger is goal obstruction, when the self or others transgresses personal rule, or when there is low frustration tolerance. So basically these are the things which is very much evident in all the childhood behavioral disorders. Now when we are talking about ODD, oppositional defiance disorder, it is always towards an authoritative figure. So the child continuously feels the need that I have to put my words out there. So in the quest of putting their words out there, they becomes very rebellious. They will shout, screaming, shouting, throwing tantrums. And also oppositional defiance disorder, ODD, is also very much it is prevalent with adults as well. So in adults, what happens, there are thought process. So the thought process is that the world is bad, everybody judges me, I am not welcomed, and therefore these thoughts gives rise to further dysfunctional thoughts like I am not welcomed, therefore I will not be open to feedback. So again, other childhood disorders like conduct disorder or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, these also runs on the basic emotion which is anger. Okay, so yes, anger is one big culprit which is behind all these childhood related disorders. Even if when we talk about ADHD, there is inattention, then there is a lot of impulsivity, there is overactivity. And when we talk about conduct disorder, so all these disorders, when a child is having this kind of disorders, they are really having a very low self-esteem. All right, so there is the self-esteem is very low. They don't feel confident because they always have this thing in their mind that whatever I do, I will be judged, and therefore I will be tagged or labeled as a bad child. And there are of course parents and teachers who would label them and who would compare them with other students, probably with their siblings. The most common thing which I have seen in parents with two children, it is that why can't you be like the younger one, or why can't you be responsible like the elder one. So here we should always remember that parents or us expecting the child to behave in a particular way is all right, it's good, but is it really necessary for the child to behave at that particular way? Because the child will is not even understanding the depth of the situation or the intensity of those words which the parent says or any other authoritative figure says. So if these factors, if these childhood related disorders are not treated properly right at the current age, then later on while they turn out in their adolescence group, when they turn out to be adults, they might have very dysfunctional patterns of living. Also, the risk factors associated with children with behavioral disorder. So the first is gestation and birth. Okay, so if a pregnant lady has very difficult pregnancy, I mean there's a lot of pain and the environment in which she is living is not that good, or it's good but it is very struggling for the lady, again that all those thoughts, all everything the pregnant lady which she sees, which she perceives, everything that goes inside her is also being received by the child which is in the womb. Therefore we also have to take care of that part, whether the pregnant lady is in a very suitable environment or not. There are risk factors with or difficulty if there is a premature baby, or if the baby is full term, still it's fine, but there are certain traumas during the birth process. Okay, so these things also adds up to the risk factors in childhood behavioral disorders. Then there is family environment which we have to take care of, which we have to look after. So the environment in which the child is being born and brought up really matters a lot, because most of the time what happens, the child is following certain patterns. Either it might be patterns seeing the parent, or either it might be seeing patterns from the grandparents, or if the environment in which they are born and brought up, if there are a lot of verbal or physical abuse, so that also has to be taken into consideration to determine the risk factors of childhood behavior related disorders in children. So another important thing is the temperament. Now it is very difficult for children to manage their anger, their emotions. It keeps on changing from time to time. One moment they'll be happy, the other moment they will start questioning, putting up some weird questions, which as parents and elders we avoid, but try not to avoid it, because this is the time that whatever information you feed to the child, that will be very helpful for the child to understand. Then there are other factors also, like how they are being treated. And when we talk about formal education and schooling as well, what is the environment in the school, so a lot of factors contributes in behavior formation of children. Now how to deal with it? So basically there are treatment modalities which caters to treatment of these childhood disorders, but the very first thing which we should understand and which we should keep in mind is that parental education. So it is really very important for parents to psycho-educate them regarding all the different kind of, or the different possibilities of how a child's behavior might be hampered, or how a child would understand and form its behavior. So parental education is very important. Then there are family therapies which is available. Now when it comes to family therapies, it should not be that the entire family is present in the counselor's room. There is a good environment and they would understand everything, and back home, when they go back home and they get back into the same environment, and everything is scattered. So it should not be like that. There should be regular follow-ups, and they have to be more open. So psychoeducation is one thing which is very much essential in whichever aspect or whichever platform parents opt to understand the difficulties in behavioral issues of children. So there is again one very important thing is that children should be given social training. Okay, it starts right from the moment they start to understand things. Okay, see how does a child learn? As soon as a child gets birth and few months, then how does they learn? Because there is no verbal communication. They will not understand language as such, but the only mode of understanding is through what they see. So it is very important that whatever they are seeing, it should not be something which is not good. Okay, so keep in mind, and therefore the social training should be in such a way that they really understands the different dynamics of how they should function, and finally they should really feel empowered. It is advisable that we have to try to encourage the child, whether even if they are doing a mistake, as I mentioned yesterday also in when I was talking about the emotional difficulties which children have. So we really have to empower them, and we really have to make them understand and give them the safe space that it is okay for you to make mistakes. Only when you make mistake you will understand and learn that information, and there will be first hand information. It is not that you will learn a specific behavior by seeing someone. Of course you can definitely repeat something by seeing someone, but any information which is first handed is learned very well. So yes, these are the different childhood disorders which is very common during the early ages of childhood. And all these different disorders or behavioral issues like oppositional defiance disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, conduct disorder, whatever it is, all these should be taken care in the right age, so that if it is not treated, if it remains untreated, if it remains undiagnosed, but may when the child grows up into adolescence and then into adults, they will probably take up very dysfunctional patterns of living, and which is not that great. Well, this is it. We have I have come to an end of this session, and not session exactly, it was just understanding the different childhood behavioral disorders. And stay tuned for more such, since we are doing this for a 5-day daily live, so 3 more days left, and I hope you see this video, and probably you will have some understanding from it. Doesn't matter if you are from the psychology background or not, as long as you're getting information, take it. Okay, all right, so I'm signing off. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. Bye, good night.